Hello, everyone. That's Titus, and I'm Thomas, and this is Everyone is Bad at Magic, where we untap, upkeep, and punt. And today we're joined by the man, myth, the legend, Oblivious Lemon, Doug's dad, Bark Bark, my homie and yours, Jorge. Say hey, hello, Jorge. Do you mind telling the folks at home just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Jorge. I've been running the Howling Salt Mine online league for the past almost what year now. I think we've done five of them. They've just keep growing, and with the help of Thomas, they've been running very smoothly. And I've been having a blast doing them and trying to expand into just more online play and even some in person TO stuff and see where that goes.
Hell yeah, brother. And I understand that you recently had some cards lost in the mail, and you might have a little something to say about that.
Oh man, yeah, I've been trying to get into pauper, so I bought the rule stompy poppers. They're just a couple of cards, and I try to put them all together nicely, as few packages as possible. Spend like an hour because TCG optimizes garbage, and doing it all manually, and I'm waiting. This is I think the 17th of December when I placed the order, and now it's January 9th, 8th and still haven't seen them. And so I'm reaching out to the to the shop owner or the shop and just wanting to see where my cards are. It's just been it's not horrible because it's not not more than like $3, but it's still like I want my cards.
What kind of window do you have left, or is it like kind of closing?
It's so TCG said that they should have been delivered by the second. I was like, let me give them some time with the holiday. I'm sure that postal service has been run down. It's probably a nightmare for them. So I'm like, I'm going to give them a couple of days before I reach out. And it's been, 6 days since then. So I was like, fine, I'll just reach out. Hey, just want to let y'all know that I haven't got my cards yet. Just want to get that process started, see what's up. I mean, haven't heard back from them yet. So here's, we're still waiting.
That's a bummer. I'm sure we all have that familiar salt of having cards lost in the mail. How about you, Titus?
Mine might be air quotes. There's been a couple of times in the past, not necessarily with any Magic vendors or even with Pokemon vendors. I've had some pretty good experiences with them, but when it came to another card game, Dragon Ball, it felt a little questionable about some of my orders. And they were always refunded if they'd never shown up, but a part of me feels like they never got sent out. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Dude, I know exactly what that feels like, especially when it's like the cheap cards. It's like that's like a 33-cent card. You just didn't put it in the mail. You don't care if this gets refunded. You're just seeing if you can take that off of me.
Yeah,
So,
I definitely feel with the cheaper the card, the more I expect it not to show up or show up like hugging that last day. Because whenever I order, they, albeit whenever it's 50 plus on TCG, it comes with tracking and shipping. But like, I have no way to prove that you sent it when it's like 35 cents, a dollar, and whatever. So I can definitely understand that sentiment.
I had like a really weird experience over the holidays. I had a card marked as delivered on the 22nd of December, and it didn't show up until yesterday, which was January 7th for the people at home. Um, so the artist actually did send it, and bless them, they were over communicative. They listened to my panicky ass over tons of
Oh
communications
boy.
because I adore the art that they sent me, and I've been like dying to see this. And I'll throw it up on the screen. I had got an Adnaz altered, and I've been waiting for this for weeks now, and I thought it was lost in the mail, and I was so bummed out. So when my partner texted me while I was at work yesterday, or maybe it was the day before at this point, uh, saying you got a package from the artist. It's like I'm gonna look like such a jerk. I made it this whole thing, and it showed up 2 weeks late for no reason. but they were an absolute gem throughout the whole process. So I'm so stoked to have finally received it. Hey, this is Thomas from the editing room. We didn't have the artist's permission at time of recording, but I want to give a huge shout out to Revelen's Light. We'll throw their information in the show notes below. Their commissions are currently open, and you should check them out. They are a dream to work with, and they're such a talented artist. Cannot recommend them highly enough.
Oh yeah, big time. I've had issues with. I order a lot of Japanese cards. I'm a big foreign language fiend when it comes to my cards. Love blinging my deck out, and I have such troubles getting those cards to my apartment since they require a signature. I have to fill out a form, and if I have my normal delivery driver, she we kind of have an understanding where it's like it's a mailbox, so I'm not going to sign. I'm not there, so she just leaves it there for me. But if it's someone else, they don't know the situation that we have, and they'll take it back to the depot, and I have to take off work like 30 minutes early so I can go and make it and pick up my cards, or even have my girlfriend go out there and be like, hey babe, can you I got some Japanese cards at the post office. Can you run by and pick them up? It's a little song that comes up every once in a while, but I've gone all of them, so I haven't had any issues there. Just it makes you a little anxious sometimes when you know they're not in your house.
Yep, I've gotten a few Haruya orders as well, where I had to go and show up on a Saturday after it showed up on Monday because I couldn't get to post office on time. So the extra weight that makes it extra sweet.
Absolutely. Something about ripping open an envelope full of cards you already know you got. Just it's a great feeling.
Way better than a pack.
Oh, absolutely. Because I'll if even if you hit something big in a pack and it's like, I don't need this. I don't need this card.
But squandered resources. Mwah.
Yeah, it's so good.
I
Anyway.
know I'm excited about my, maybe an alternative lightning bolt or something.
Heck yeah. Well, speaking of lightning bolt in the format that it's definitely legal in, I hear that you're getting into Pauper as well, Jorge, a format that Titus and I are, I guess you would call stands at the format at this point. Is that what the kids are saying? You're a bit younger than us.
Am I that much younger than y'all? I mean, I think it is. There's a couple of things that I don't even know, but it is Stan. I mean, Stan's was when I was like 12. That's Mr. Eminem himself. Yeah, I've been trying to get into Pauper. I've been building my deck. I took it off MTG Goldfish, so I'm not. It's someone else's deck, but it's Gruul Stompy, and I've been loving it. I love making a bunch of mana, and I love hitting people for 15 in one turn, and it's just been a lot of fun. I really enjoy. I got a couple other buddies that are trying to get into it too. So whenever we can't get a little cEDH pod going, we'll just maybe get some Pauper in between games or anything like that. But it's been a blast. It's been fun learning a new format, especially too, and one that doesn't break the bank as much as cEDH does.
Yeah, and for any cEDH players out there, Titus did a wonderful job in our scene of getting people to just pick up pauper decks for locals nights, and they're great decks to just when you're 30 minutes early, there's a pretty good chance somebody else is now going to be there with a pauper deck. And you play a game, finish your game before time. Somebody's going to go along. You have time for a pauper game.
Look, it's one of the most stable formats, right? You know, you don't have to really edit the deck too much and it's going to still be good. So pick up and play seems relatively easy.
Yeah, and they are economical, which is not something that is very common in our just in Magic in general. So, could not say nicer things about Pauper, like just in general. It's a fun format that is affordable and easy to enter, and it's incredibly powerful.
And look, if you think that commons means that it's not as good of a format, that is completely wrong. Ristic Study was a common, was it not?
Uh, you are correct, Titus. Ristic study is not just a common, it is technically legal in Pauper.
Well, is it banned?
No, it is Pauper legal.
Really?
Yeah,
Is this just not played in Pauper?
it's just not played in Pauper.
I think just Commander just breaks it with having 4 people.
Yeah, it would probably be pretty bad in Pauper.
Trying to learn Pauper, I was kind of hesitant at first because coming from cEDH, all I've known is Commander, classic get person into Magic. But playing cEDH, playing with the most broken cards of Magic's history, I was fully expecting a format of just commons to be relatively weak, slow, games lasting to turn 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. But I'm so surprised how powerful it really is. Like I'll play my little rule stompy deck and I'll make 15 mana on like turn 3 and I'm swinging for lethal. And it's like, I'm like so surprised at how fast and how strong the format can actually be. And it's been a lot of fun delving into and just exploring the format and just learning other decks and how strong these commons can really be.
Yeah, I would say that Pauper is generally speaking stronger than standard, probably closer to on par with modern, if not quite as strong.
I would concur.
Well, what do we know? So, I love that you're also getting to Pauper, Jorge, and it was super fun playing that with you on New Year's Eve. We
Oh
rang in
yeah,
the
that was
New
awesome. That was a
Year
good
playing
time.
Pauper together. Speaking of this format that we both love, are there any other formats that you've been playing that you've been really enjoying lately?
Nope, just Commander and Popper. That's all I've done. I haven't really stemmed from anything else. The reason for Popper was just because I've been doing only Commander, and I was like, I need something else. I need to try other formats to just even just to better myself as a Commander player. To try to dip my toes in other formats, and Popper was just the choice.
Well, you've mentioned that you started with Commander. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey with getting into Magic?
Oh yeah, it was a pretty fun journey. I went to a Christmas party with my girlfriend, and they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh
Must have
at
smelled
that.
terrible at that Christmas party.
it was fun. I've been card game adjacent, I feel like, most of my life. I think the first time I ever touched Magic cards was middle school, and I just didn't know what we were doing. We were playing in our library, just with whatever. I don't know what set or what, but we were just playing. And so I always kind of wanted to get into a TCG. And so going to this party and watching my girlfriend's friends play Yu-Gi-Oh, I was drawn into drawn into just a TCG in general. And so that started me doing research about the different card games that are out there. Learned that Yu-Gi-Oh is like a turn 2 format and that you can lose without playing a spell. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And so I next best choice was Magic. And so I started playing Magic. I think my started playing Phyrexia All Will Be One. I think that's the set that I first started playing. And then I had a rule pre-con that I started playing, and then I eventually started playing cEDH. I think whenever Lord of the Rings set came out, and I've been hooked ever since. And I started playing a mono green Selvala deck into a Slicer, and then from Slicer into a Tali. And then there's a theme here with my decks. And then from Italy, I landed and have sticked with Corvold for pretty much the last like 2 years.
That's a pretty fast onboarding straight into comp. Uh,
Yeah, it's been pretty fast. I always surprise myself by how little time I've been actually playing and just involved in the competitive scene. But I love it. It's all I think about. Just have a good time. I've made a lot of lifelong friends, yourself included, Thomas, and it's been a blast. I love it.
So, in addition to playing cEDH, do you have any casual commander decks that you like to play as well?
I didn't for a little bit, but now I bought the Hearthole Precon, which is another Jund deck, and it is just casual Corvold. It is so much fun. You like what you like, and I recently took out the bad tap lands and I just played the land base a little bit, and I love that deck. It's a fun casual deck. I like breaking out every once in a while. I had a Goreclaw deck for a little bit, just the mono green one. Oh, Shorekai. Yeah, I had Shorekai for a little bit, just because I love big robots, and so didn't know anything really about color pie or anything like that back then. So I just saw a big robot and was attracted to it. More ways than one, I guess.
Shorkai is a rad deck.
It's so
Uh,
cool.
stupid powerful too. While you've been learning, Can you think of any pivotal punts in your career that have kind of informed how you've grown and that you've learned from that have changed your play patterns for the better and helped you grow as a competitive player?
Yeah, I've punted many times. I always take those opportunities to try to learn. I think the best way to learn is from your mistakes because you just don't want to make them again. Probably one of the biggest mistakes I've made on Corvold is post Nas. I started my Aftermath Analyst land loop combo. The cards involved is Aftermath Analyst, Squander Resources, or another sack land sack outlet, and Shifting Woodland. Basically, Aftermath Analyst says it's 2 mana for elf. I don't know the full type, but at ETBs, you mill 3 cards, and then you can pay 3 and a green, sacrifice this creature, return all lands from the graveyard to your battlefield, tapped. And then Squander Resources is a Golgari enchantment that reads sacrifice a land, add 1 mana of any type it could produce. And then Shifting Woodlands is a land that can make a copy of a card in your graveyard, of a permanent card in your graveyard, if you have Delirium. So basically, once you have Delirium and 8 lands that can produce mana, so you use your Shifting Woodland to target your Aftermath Analyst in the graveyard, which will bring back all your lands that you sacked with your squandered resources, also bringing back the Shifting Woodland, which you could just use to start it again and keep that loop going. And if you have 8 mana producing lands, you have infinite sacks, infinite landfall, and infinite mana. So I've established that combo. I have most of my deck in my hand, and I have 2 to 3 cards in my library, and I cast Corvold. And I'm sitting there without a way to kill him, end up decking myself. And it was just, I'm sitting there, I was like, why in the world did I cast my commander? I have all my cards. I have I have all the mana I need just to win. It just I will sometimes get into my head. I'm like, well, I'm playing Corvold. I gotta cast my commander. I gotta play the dragon. And so yeah,
No.
I don't know why I did that. I don't know. I'm sure there could have been a way to stop it. But I just in the time frame, I just couldn't.
Oh, as soon as you cast Corvold, I am
Yeah.
sure that is just the death spiral.
Yeah, I went Corvold and I was like, oh, Corvold ETV, draw a card. I have like 1 card left, and I'm like, I can't do anything without drawing a card here. And then it was just, yeah, it was just a mess. But
Uh,
you live and you learn. I have 2 game plans. Nas turn 2, or I'm gonna grind with some lands to turn 4, turn 5. So it's helped me to not be so commander reliant in that deck. And it's one that haunts me. I think about it all the time.
that is a good story, and that's a good thing to learn from. I really enjoyed that because I definitely thought that there was some point during the definitely not complicated aftermath analyst loops that that was where
No,
the
no, no.
punt
I
was going to be.
just cast my commander. I just
It's definitely those simple lines in a deck that you know
always.
like the back of your hand that it's like the next day that you're driving to work and all of a sudden you stop in traffic. I could have won the game.
Yeah. I was talking to my friend recently. We're talking about my commute to work. I drive an hour and a half to work. He's like, "What do you do? Do you listen to music podcasts all the time?" I'm like, no, I sit in silence and think of all my misplays, and they just haunt me, man.
That's
But
too
hey, it's
real.
how you get better, and it's I've learned a lot from them.
I agree. There's a game where it's almost like you say something, you realize, wait, I wasn't supposed to do that. And I demonic consultation for a fierce guardianship when in the past I was playing a Tivit. And I was like, wait, I don't run this. Don't preemptively make decisions.
Yeah,
Don't think hastily, actually make a calm, rational decision. Don't fire off your demonic consultation for a card that's not in your deck.
That is a great story, Jorge. And I think I would kind of like to transition at this point and ask you a little bit about how you got into organizing tournaments.
basically just because I wanted to play more cEDH. We started doing the online league for the Howling Salt Mine about a year ago. Just trying to gauge interest, see if people would want to do something like that. and we started, I think, what was it, like 40 people originally, and it's just grown into something that I never even thought it would be. Like they are technically like gold size events, I think now, if we're using top decks metric. We last one we did, we had 76 people playing it, and it's been a blast. I love doing it, and it's been really rewarding, to be honest, and just honestly helps me be better as a player as well.
Awesome. Do you want to take a quick minute to pitch your tournaments and like talk about how you structure them?
Yeah, our tournament structure is very relaxed. I wanted to make it so it's available to a lot of people. We run on a 2 week kind of basis where each pod has 2 weeks to get a game in, just because we have people from Europe, East Coast, West Coast, just totally different time zones. And it's probably the biggest hurdle we face running these tournaments is just scheduling. And with the fact that we wanted it to be for everybody, it's just how it is. And it's just been what's worked for us. And we continue to grow and expand the amount of people that play. And so it's been a really good time, and it's been quite successful so far. We have, people who is their third cEDH game that they want to try their hand at more organized play. And we have some really, really strong players who will win the tournament every time on their Sisse list, Mr. Dio.
It's only won it
And,
once so far.
and it's been a blast. It's been great getting people into cEDH. I love expanding the format as much as I can, and it's been great. I love that the Howling Salt Mine boys have been allowing us to do this in their Discord for the last year and some change, and it's just really couldn't do it without an environment such as that one, and so I really gotta give them their flowers.
So does the Howling Salt Mine tournaments, do they take like the normal tournament structure and point system?
So yeah, we currently have the just normal tournament structure set up by topdeck.gg. We'll do 5 rounds, cut to a top 16, and then go into our top four. And so yeah, we've done a little bit of experimenting with the Japanese point system during kind of our off season in between tournaments, kind of more akin to the critical EDH style of league, online league. That's what I really like about it, because I have the freedom to experiment with different tournament structures and point systems, and allowing me to kind of see what works best for us, and kind of go from there.
Okay. Has there anything that's been like requested or been kicked around lately?
I think the Japanese point system has started to get a little bit of like people wanting to try it some more. We did between this last tournament, we did the Japanese point system, and we had some good results from it. People liked it.
Yeah, we had something like 130 games played in about 4 weeks. And this is with a pretty small player base, so it was
Mhm.
pretty successful.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest draw to it, is that it allowed people to just whenever they wanted to get a game in a more tournament style setting, that they could. And that's kind of the issue that we face now, is that people who want to jam games can't really have that with the current system that we're doing. But also on the flip side of that, people who can't play as many games as someone like me, they kind of lose interest in it, because they see that their points aren't as high as someone else's who is playing every day, jamming 2 3 games a night, and they have time for one or two on the weekend. So it's give and take, and it's trying to figure out what works best for us and our little niche that we're growing.
It also started a weirdish trend where some people started racing for the bottom.
That was weird, and I don't know how I felt about that, because I do want it to be as close to like a in-person experience. I want it to be practice for people for their in-person tournaments. And so whenever you have people who are raced to the bottom, as fun as it is and as pretty funny to me, it kind of takes away from the seriousness that I kind of wanted to be.
And
So
props, like genuinely, the iron will to keep playing with those kinds of records was impressive. Like, no shade in the slightest. I am in genuine awe of those people who were genuinely striving to continue to get better on those kind of skids, I probably would not have had that mental fortitude.
No, it is impressive.
Yeah,
It is. I don't think I could muster up to try to, and it's just they're grinding, they're getting better, and it's you look at them now, and their records are a lot better than they were during the Japanese league, or the Japanese point style league,
yeah. I think
and
someone who was on a 0 and 15 skid during that lead came close to top 16ing.
just a couple months later, and
That's
it's
okay.
just it's impressive how people will just continue to play these games and get better and grind, and it just shows that people want to get better in Magic.
So, since you started doing this, is there one thing that you would say has been your favorite thing that's come out of organizing these tournaments? Let me rephrase that. Is there
Mm.
one thing that you've found the most rewarding to come from these tournaments?
But I think the biggest thing that I've enjoyed about it is how much it brings everyone together. People wanting to get their games in, people who don't talk to each other are, coordinating games and stuff like that. And it's really bringing people together, and people who didn't have a reason to talk to each other before. So now now making people are making friends and jamming games. What more could I want from something like that?
Yeah. Not to jump too heavily into this, but as somebody's participated in a bunch of these with you, I have to say that I've really enjoyed the inclusiveness in new players that this has brought to the table. And I do believe that is one of, if not one, like the best way for new players to experience cEDH because it is such a safe and competitive environment. And there are so many people who have gone into the format and gone on to become just absolute champions of cEDH who had never played a game before joining this league.
I know, yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the tournament and the league is just that we are very welcoming to new players, and it's having been to a tournament, still very new into my cEDH career. It's nerve wracking, dude. I sat there, I'm shaking, I'm trying to do my line, and I can't think. My hands are shaking, and I feel like I'm 12 years old, trying to do my PowerPoint. It's hard. It's very hard, and you're playing one of the hardest games, and you're trying to do it, to the highest level that you can. And having a place where people can do that from the comfort of their homes, in a community that they like, it's wonderful. Some of my friends who started playing, they weren't the best players, and as keep playing, they grow and grow as players. Don't want to drop any names, but Bill, you've gone a lot better.
Yeah,
I remember
Bill
you would
takes
flip cannon
so many
and
games
whiff like
off of
three
me now.
times.
Yeah, there's something to be said for playing Magic without wearing pants. Like,
Oh,
you can't do that
it's
in your LGS.
it's the best part, dude.
Or
I'm telling you,
don't
I come home, pants off, I'm loading the Magic. I'm playing some games.
yeah, don't go to your LGS without wearing pants or shorts or something.
Please, please. We have enough image problems as Magic players as
Oh
it
my
is.
god.
I think, yeah, the online leagues, like giving a place for people to play just when you have an opportunity, because we all have varying schedules. Like, in addition to the conversation about time zones, not everybody works the same time in a day or goes to school or has their responsibilities that they have to take care or fulfill. So I think having a place to play is very important, especially if you don't have like locals that where you can meet up and play, say, something like cEDH. While it is growing in popularity and it is becoming more prominent in areas, for some places there might not be a lot of opportunity for something like that.
Absolutely. I love that we help some of the more rural areas in just anywhere really, where people just, yeah, like you said, they don't have access to it, or the format isn't as big. Just and having a place where, games are firing every week, and people are getting more and more interested in it, and just having that space is just awesome.
Not to kind of like segue us out of this, but There are some very real problems with TDH that
Mhm.
I'm just curious to know if you have any thoughts on. I know that this is something that the community speaks a lot about as a whole. Do you have any thoughts on what tournament organizers can do to fix the fourth seat problem?
The four seed issue is something I'm really passionate about trying to fix. Just anything, trying to do any solutions for it. From what I can see online, I think cEDH is kind of viewed sometimes as a joke format. Other formats don't really take it seriously, and I feel like a lot of it has to do, in fact, with the four seed problem. There is a win rate discrepancy of like 10, 11% from fourth seed to fourth to first seed. A lot of people just call it a turn order simulator format, where if you're in first seed, you're just going to win all the time. And it's kind of true. I mean, with when first seed has a win rate of like 25% and fourth seed 11%, a lot of people go into the fourth seed just trying to draw the game, because they just want to get any type of advantage out of it, out of that round. And so, countless of ideas have been thrown out of first seed doesn't draw, fourth seed scries two, or, countless of ideas. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that are a lot smarter than me who have poured, way more time into it, ideas that they can take to try to fix that issue. Me, I'm a simple man. Bring back Dockside. All right. Because when we had Dockside, all right,
Yes.
when we had
Okay, I'm
Dockside,
gonna cut in his mic. We're done here.
just because I'm a Corvo player doesn't mean that this isn't true. When we had Dockside, it was, I think, first seat was like in the 20s and fourth seat was about 18%. There was still a discrepancy between the two seats, but it was a lot less than it is now. The Dockside is the great equalizer between first and fourth, and the numbers don't lie.
That is a scalding hot take. The views expressed here are not indicative of the views of everybody's present. Though
Mainly Tom's.
Titus seemed really high on it. Well, that just torches my follow-up question. I was going to say, do you think it's the purview of the tournament organizers or WotC to determine who should be championing changes within TDH to try to mitigate this problem? But there's no way in hell that a tournament is going to legalize dockside or should be doing so while it's illegal in the format.
No, yeah, don't get me wrong. As much as I love that goblin, I don't think it should come back. I also think that it kind of lies on both people, on both parties, where now we have people like Hire who are in the commander committee who are more in directly affiliated with cEDH and giving our niche like subsect of a format a bigger voice and like more say in these things. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think more TOs should experiment with things because a lot of it's the exact same. It's all the same. From what I feel, nothing's being really done to fix the thing. It's just a bunch of people online, like myself, in this current moment, talking about what they can do. And I just think that someone has to try something. And there's going to be people who bitch and moan at us for trying something that's not the same thing that they've tried every time. But I just think something has to be done. Some experiments, some changes. I mean, I've heard crazy things as it should try three people. CA should be a three-person format to, like I said earlier, first seed doesn't draw. They just scry one, fourth seed scries two or whatever. It's just there's so many things, so many ideas, and something has to be tried at least.
Well, considering that you do mini leagues between your tournaments, maybe that's a good place for you to do some experimenting and report back.
No, I think so for sure, especially because I would want to stray away from doing it in like the main season and more so, yeah, like you said, in the in between where we can kind of really just do whatever we want. Because I do want to avoid having a bunch of new people try a completely different system that might not even stick. Is most likely won't stick. And so, yeah, I think that kind of in between season is the perfect time to try crazy ideas or see what works, see what doesn't work, and at end of the day, all that's going to happen is we're going to learn.
Maybe if there was like some people setting up a mock tournament system, not something that necessarily has to be completed right away, but say if they wanted to bring up some sort of change. I know that, everybody plays better when there's something on the line, right? But to still take it seriously, the same way that they would take any of their live tournament games or say they were going to an event. And within that certain period, like leave it open. Maybe they complete it within a couple months or so. But if maybe a small group of people are committed, they could see how those results were. The thing is, it's gonna probably cost time, is the main thing. And would people be willing to give up that to try to start to see if there's anything to figure out some of the issues that might be within the format?
That's a conversation that me and my playgroup have had a couple times where we want to kind of simulate tournament play and try some of these weird out there rules and see what works, see what doesn't work. But it's like you said, it's hard to dedicate a lot of time to that because it is something that takes a lot of time, a lot of notes, a lot of time, after the fact, thinking about it, what worked, what didn't work. When that's time when we could spend practicing for our other tournaments we have going on. So it is hard to find the time to do these thought exercises. It's just kind of how it is right now, just the nature of the beast, I feel.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Time is a finite resource.
So Jorge, when you got into tournament organization, um, what were some of the things that made it successful? It sounds like the Howling Salt Mine has been successful, but what are some things that other people looking to either get into it that could do to maybe like good ways to promote it, to share it with other people? Is it just to have a group of buddies and then, eventually it comes into something? Is there anything that you've noticed?
I think the best way to help grow something like this Howling Salt Mine League is just for people to have a genuine interest in cEDH, just wanting to get games at the highest level and learn how to play in tournament settings has just been what's worked for us.
I'm gonna throw something on there too. If you're excited about it, you can get other people excited about it. When we were first starting off, one of the team members, V, uh, was just a hype man for it. They blew up everybody. We went from having 10 to 15 people signed up in the first day to him getting like 30 people signed up in an hour just because he was so infectious with his excitement.
Yeah,
So if you bring the energy, people are going to match your energy.
yeah. It's easy to whenever you love a format to spread the love. It's awesome. It's been great, and it's just I love doing it. It's one of my favorite like pet projects I've done, and just watching it grow and watching other people get hyped for it and love cEDH Magic as much as I do, and watching this continue to grow and getting more and more new people and seasoned people is just yeah, like Thomas said, it's just having that energy really helps just grow in general, and it's gonna keep growing. I'm excited to be help leading it along.
So do you have any like future goals with any tournament organizing? Is IRL or in person something that you would like to do as well?
Yeah, I really want to get into the more in-person aspect of tournament organization. It's a whole different beast, and I really want to test and see how far I can do in a space like that. And of course, it won't. I don't think it'll be as big as the Howling Salt Mine at first, but there are a bunch of new shops that are opening up around me in the DFW area, and I've been reaching out to some of the newer ones, seeing if that's something they would be interested in, and just having consistent weeklies, little locals that we could go to, and just kind of being directly involved with some of these new stores in the area. So definitely IRL, probably the next step that I want to take, kind of in the tournament organization scene.
And something that you brought up before was just, positivity and enjoyment of the game. I think the positive like vibes or atmosphere is very important. And even like going in IRL, even if it's small, kind of like the same thing that was brought up with the Hauling Salt Mine lead, uh, is that if people are enjoying themselves and want to play, I think that the more people see that and like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize anybody played that here. I would love to come and play. I think that's one of the important aspects as well, especially just, being open to people coming, being a part of the community, and as well as just enjoying the game of Commander Magic the Gathering.
And that's one of the things I like working on the most, or making sure that it is inclusive, and that it is an open spot for people to come play. And at the end of the day, for me, Magic is all about the gathering, making sure everyone feels safe, no one feels turned away from the format or just Magic in general. I mean, it's a beautiful game that we all play, and it's all brought together hundreds of thousands of people, and it's something that I love, and I just strive to have something I love and strive to make sure that the format is as inclusive as it can be. Um, want to make sure that people aren't bullied and aren't marginalized, and that this can just be again a safe space, and just having that be something that I've helped create has been awesome. It's been one of the things I'm most proud of recently, especially in the last year. Just being a proponent to
A proponent of
inclusivity.
inclusivity.
Yeah, it's inclusivity word. Being a proponent,
Yeah,
yeah, just being a proponent of inclusivity has just been. I mean, it's been great. Look at me, I'm smiling. I mean, I just have a good time, bro. I have a good time talking to my friends, playing Magic.
hell yeah,
It's wonderful. I love it. I love it and love it.
awesome. So, Jorge, before I let you go, is there anything you want to plug today?
I mean, I gotta plug the boys, I guess. I mean, listen to Howling Salt Mine. They're a great group of people. They let me do, this tournament for the last year, and it's been great. I love Mike, Tony, and Sam, and literally everyone else in the Discord. That it's been a wonderful community. Somehow, people reading the saltiest stories of Magic bring together the best people in the world, and it's like nothing else. Literally, no other Discord like it. And then I'll plug you guys as well on your own show, because I love you. I love you both. I love listening to you guys' show. And thank you for having me on. It was great being able to help push y'all to 100 subscribers right before New Year's. Hitting up my friends, making sure that y'all got y'all's goal. And so I'm I'm glad to be a part of it. And I just I love this game.
I appreciate you, Jorge. So, just a couple quick things. If you'd like to see any of the top 16 matches from Jorge's tournaments, they are currently up on videos on our homie Rothbox's YouTube channel. We'll have links to those in the show notes below. And one thing that somehow was completely not mentioned this entire episode is that is ridiculously off meta as far as any tournaments you could possibly imagine.
Yes, we are very, very off meta. I mean, I play a dead deck. My deck isn't. I'm like three people play this deck,
Yeah, I think the
and
top 16 has like maybe two decks that are meta. My top 16 pod was literally Celeste, Oops All Spells, Fadric, and me playing Terra. It's the Wild West as far as tournaments go. So there's some cool games to check out over there.
yeah, we have fun. We People bring their spice, their brews, their anything goes. It's been, as long as you have a love for the game and I want to be competitive, I think it's the place to do it.
Awesome. Well, if you stayed with us this long, please consider giving the video a like, follow, or subscribe, or comment on it, depending on how you found us. And be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. It's just a game.
Can't raise my hands.